Hey, Keith here from the Emerald Minecart. Welcome back to another review. And today I'm reviewing episode 6 of Metal CardBot Season 1. In this episode, not only were introduced to a new Metal CardBot, but this episode actually got a laugh out of me from one scene. And I will get to it when I get to it. But yeah. So, anyways, the pros, the cons, and the mids. First off, the pros. Shadow X, our newest metal cardbot, who is a type of helicopter who can go invisible. Now, you're probably curious, okay, that's neat, but why did you mention that Shadow X can go invisible? Well, one is that his mecha design has a ninja motif, which, before I get to the reason why it was important for me to bring up that he can turn invisible, so yeah, might as well talk about his vehicle mode and robot mode. So his vehicle mode is a type of helicopter. I don't know what type they say in the episode, but I'll just pop it up on screen what type of helicopter he is. Honestly, I really do like the paint job on him that makes it look like he has like a shark mouth. I really like that. In his robot mode, also looks pretty good. I really like the slight ninja motif that his robot mode has. Now, getting that out of the way, now to talk about why the whole thing of him being able to turn invisible is important. So, at the beginning of the episode, we see that Jun is seemingly being cursed with this really, really bad luck. Like, during a soccer game when he scores a goal, the soccer, keeps spinning in the goal and hits him back in the face. Then there is another scene where, he and Seal are getting out of school and, he trips over one of those, big water bottles you'd see at, one of those water stations you'd see at, a office building or something. And then there's another scene we get where he's has a book and is about to sit on the bench, but then the bench moves and he falls on his ass. And then there's a scene where he's about to trip over a can, but he notices it. He picks it up and throws it, but then the can is thrown right back at his face. So at first it's like, oh wow, okay, I guess someone cursed Jun. But then the other metal cardbots come, and we see that they have been graffitied on, with Blue Cop getting a pig face graffitied on him, which, I don't know if that was, supposed to be, a joke about a certain thing, but I doubt it was on purpose, but also I feel like it might have been on purpose. And honestly, that wasn't the thing that got a laugh out of me. Sure, it was funny, but I will say, after the other metal card bots got cleaned off, you just see in the background, Blue Cup looks so upset. It's like, no, don't be upset. Don't worry, it was only temporary. It's like, oh, it must have been children who did this. But no, the metal card bot reveals himself, or the others realize that there's an metal carbot around when they hear Shadow X talking, and Shadow X reveals himself, is like, yes, I am the one who's been doing all the pranks. In fact, Jun, you specifically, I've been pranking you. And then we, cut back to the scenes where, all the bad luck things were happening, and, obviously, Shadow X was invisible when all this was happening, but in the flashbacks of his perspective, he isn't invisible. And the scene that got me to laugh out loud like an immature child was the scene where, when Jun throws the soda can only for it to be thrown back. Shadow X doesn't throw it back normally. Once Jun throws it, Shadow X legitimately just throws it back right at him with his ass. It's just... That legitimately got a laugh out of me. And look, I know it's immature of me, but I don't care. Besides, I'm the type of person who still thinks Annoying Orange is funny. You really think my humor has high standards? No, it does not. Okay, maybe sometimes depending on what I'm watching, but most of the time, my humor, I have I have very low standards for my humor, so yeah. But yeah, that scene legitimately got a laugh out of me. But yeah, eventually they're able to figure out Shadow X's movements when he's invisible due to the fact that, well, his shadow is still visible, which, you know, I'm just saying, this is definitely not something you'd want if you're someone who turns invisible for your shadow to show up. But yeah, next up is Shadow X's metal card. His metal card turns into a giant shuriken? Shuriken, yeah. It turns into a giant shuriken that can throw other shurikens. And of course, this goes with the ninja motif of his robot mode. And honestly, it's pretty cool. Giant shurikens, in my opinion, are awesome. Especially if they're the type that are bigger than a regular sized car. But yeah, Shadow X's metal card, pretty cool. Then next up is Wella, one of the bully characters, or the blonde girl who is with the bullies. Although, to be fair, the bullies, like, I don't know where to put them on the friend category. Like, yeah, they're not nice to Jun, but they're not like actively bullying him 24/7. So, yeah, so in the area where the fight between Shadow X and Blue Cop are, she and two of her friends are essentially filming a TikTok. And once they hear the sirens of Blue Cop, one of her friends is like, "Oh no, the police are here. We need to leave before we get scolded." And then Wella is like, "Hold on. Something doesn't feel right here, fellas." And they proceed to record the fight that happens, or at least Blue Cop being attacked by Shadow X in his invisible mode, which he actually does get his invisible mode turned off or deactivated during the fight. But yeah. So Wella is obviously going to play a role in the secret of the Cardbots going out there, which, considering one of the episodes is called The Secret's Out, yeah. But hey, I'll talk about that when I get to that episode, which will be a small bit. But yeah. And finally, the fight between Shadow X and Blue Cop. So yeah, at first it's like, oh, I can't fight him because he's invisible. But once Jun realizes that, wait a minute, this dumbass can't hide his shadow. And like Blue Cop also realizes this, or he's told this, he is able to deliver one of his punches to Shadow X, and this causes him to have his invisibility be deactivated, although this will definitely be temporary. So yeah, then not Shadow X, then Blue Cop is about to finish Shadow X off, but Shadow X uses his metal card to basically form a wind tornado that stops him from doing this, which this leads to like another like conflict between Shadow X and Jun, and like Shadow X is like, you bossed him around, and I don't like you for that. And Jun is like, these are my friends, and this surprises both Blue Cop and Shadow X. And then Jun goes on about, oh, I have a secret weapon of mine, and this scares off this scares off Shadow X. And this obviously confuses Theo and Blue Cop because it's like, wait, what secret weapon? But yeah, the episode ends with like us on like a frame of like Wella's phone. It's like, oh, what's going to happen next? But obviously, if you've seen the episode title of, or the title of episode 8, yeah, you know what's going to happen. But yeah, so I really like this episode. I loved the scene where like Shadow X literally like threw it back to like throw a can back at Jun's face. That was funny. Again, I know I'm immature, but I don't care. But yeah. So I give this episode 7 out of 7 stars. I quite like the episode. I really do like Shadow X's design, and that one scene that got a laugh out of me. Yeah. So, that was it for this review. Make sure you all subscribe and like for more, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, home guards, and good